The regular monthly council meeting held tonight, Tuesday, the 19th of May, 2026, opening at 5 p.m. I'd like to welcome my fellow councillors, our CEO, our council officers, and those of you here tonight in chambers and those viewing online. We're all present here, so no one's online other than Ms. Crane. Can you hear and see us, Ms. Crane? Thank you. Item 3, apologies, Madam CEO.
No apologies, Mr. Mayor.
Nil. Item 4, statement of commitment. I'll read the statement of commitment and then I'll call on each councillor to confirm the commitment. As councillors of Mansfield Shire, we are committed to ensuring our behaviour meets the standards set by the Model Councillor Code of Conduct. We will, at all times, faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in us by the community. Confirm your commitment, Councillor Tian.
I confirm my commitment, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Treasure.
I confirm my commitment.
Thank you, Councillor Clark.
I confirm my commitment.
Councillor Bruni.
I confirm my commitment.
And I confirm my commitment. Item 5 is the acknowledgement of country from the Deputy Mayor.
Our meeting has been held on the traditional lands of the Taungurung people. We wish to acknowledge them as the traditional custodians and pay our respects to their elders past and present. We extend that respect to all members of our community.
Thank you. Item 6 is the disclosure of conflicts of interest. I'll call on each councillor in turn and ask them to declare whether they have any conflicts of interest in relation to any agenda items tonight. Councillor T.
I have no conflicts, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Treasure.
No conflicts on tonight's agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
I have one conflict in the confidential reports, item 18.3, Mr. Mayor.
18.3. Thank you. And Councillor Bruni.
I'll also declare a conflict, Mr. Mayor. Tonight's agenda, item 13.3.1, the Mansfield District Potters lease.
Thanks, Councillor Bruni. And I have no conflict of interest on any agenda item tonight. Item 7 is the confirmation of minutes taken as read. Councillor Bruni.
I'll move a motion that the minutes of the Mansfield Shire Council meeting held on 21st of April 2026 and 5th of May 2026 be confirmed as an accurate record.
Thank you. Have we got a seconder? Councillor Clark. All those in favour? Item is carried. Item 7, representations are nil. Item 9, notices of motion are nil. And item 10 is the Mayor's report. I'll also take that as read. Councillor Treasure.
I'd like to move the recommendation that the council receive the Mayor's report for the period 22nd of April to 12th of May 2026.
Thank you. Have we got a seconder? Councillor Bruni. Any want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else want to speak to the motion or against it? I'll put the motion to vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Item 11 are the reports from council appointed representatives, and council has no committees have met this month, so there is no report. So there is a recommendation on the page, though, councillors. Councillor Bruni.
I will move that council note the verbal reports provided by councillors in relation to their representation on internal and external committees.
Thank you. I've got a seconder. Councillor Treasure. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 12, public question time. There are no public questions or representations tonight. Item 13.1 is the Chief Executive Officer's report. Councillors, have you got any questions for the Chief Executive Officer in the report? Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Madam CEO, what constitutes a complaint? in your first few pages of the report.
Yeah, look, I don't have the complaints policy in front of me, but it is pretty well, I'd probably, through you, Mr. Mayor, I'd probably direct you to that. I think it's pretty well outlined in that policy, what constitutes a complaint. So that's probably the best I can do at short notice.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, councillors? That case? Councillors? Treasurer?
The council receive and note the Chief Executive Officer's report for the period 1st April 2026 to 30th of April 26.
Thank you. Have we got a seconder? Councillor Brenny. Councillor Treasurer, do you want to speak to the report, to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Brenny, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Does any councillor want to speak against the motion? Or for the motion? In that case, I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Motion is carried. And I'm pleased to note that we will bring item 13.5.2 forward for our guests tonight that are sitting in the gallery, which is the Friends of Venali MOV. On the page. So the memorandum of understanding tonight, the responsible officer is Ms. Daly. Thank you. And councillors, have you got any questions for Ms. Daly?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. This is a question of what the purpose of this MOU is to have in place, Daly.
Yeah, the purpose of it is to have an understanding of the friendship between Mansfield and the Friends of Venalale, and who does what. So how we support them, and then what the Friends of Venalale are to do under that MOU.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Has there been one in place previous to this?
Yes, so there was initially a friendship agreement signed in 2004, and then the exact date the MOU came in place, I'm not sure of, but it has been in place for quite a long time. So this is just a renewal for another 4 years.
Thank you.
Any other questions, councillors? In that case, councillor Team.
I'm happy to move the motion that council endorse a memorandum of understanding between Mansfield Shire Council and Friends of Venalale for a term of 4 years, and to approve an annual donation of $3,000 for the term of this agreement.
Thank you. Have I got a seconder for the motion? Councillor Clark. Councillor Team, do you want to speak to the motion?
Just to say that, well done, congratulations. Friends do a fantastic job. They fundraise hard and they do a lot of good for a town in another country that isn't as privileged as what we are here. So fantastic, and look forward to the presentation tomorrow.
Thank you. Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to mirror Councillor Tian's sentiments, that the group do such a wonderful job, and really happy that council can continue to support you.
Okay, does any councillor want to speak against the motion? Would any other councillor like to speak for the motion? To the motion.
Yeah, I'll speak. The motion, to reiterate the words of my fellow councillors, and congratulate you all on pushing this through, and the continual effort that goes into Friends of Venalale, having been to schools here all through my life, done numerous free dress days and other events, and the Ridge Walk that becomes more and more popular. So I think strengthening this connection, raising more awareness around what happens in Timor-Leste, our nearest neighbour, is really important, especially that Mansfield can do something and be connected. Thank you.
Councillor Treasurer? No. I'd like to speak to the motion, if I could. I brought in the Timor-Leste the order. It's sort of like an AO from Jose Ramos Horte, the president, that was presented to the Friends of Venelala, and they've left this at the council in the front foyer, which is a very gracious thing for them to do, and I'm very, very happy to support this motion. You do such a lot for a lot of people that are not as privileged as we are, and I'm really glad to support this motion and continue our friendship with Venelala. So I'll put the motion to a vote. For those in favour of the motion. Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Okay, so we're back to 13.2.1, which is the tourism reference group, and the responsible officer tonight will be Ms. Crane. Line. It's Ms. Crane. Councillors, have you got any questions for Ms. Crane? Councillor Teahan?
Group. The just a discrepancy between the attachment and in the reference paper, the agenda paper, in regards to the amount of retail sector and caravan holiday park operators on this committee. It states there will be 1 to 2 in the attachment and 2 and 2 in the agenda papers. So, and also the transport provider 1 and 2 instead of 1. Is there? Is that just a typo? Or is it? Was the committee? Which one is the makeup?
Yes.
Which paper is the correct one to make up for the committee?
Certainly, through you, Mr. Mayor. The intent is what's in the paper is what will reflect in the final terms of reference. They are draft terms of reference in the attachment. What we've put in the paper is what we've worked through with a range of different considerations. 2 of each, retail and caravan, is probably more appropriate. We can get a better spread across the municipality with that.
Okay, so the ones in the agenda paper.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah. I just had another question. The financial impact of this group, it says there is no financial impact, but some officer time will be utilised. They're quarterly meetings, I imagine. So it will be some sort of cost, but yeah.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, there will be a cost, but what the benefit council officers in particular from the tourism industry will gain will be access to a whole lot of information and I suppose local expertise that we may not otherwise get if we didn't have these kind of meetings. So it will probably save our tourism and our economic development staff time in a way, because they'll be able to go to a select group of people to seek information that we might be looking for on a more regular basis. So it will provide some efficiencies as well.
Okay, yeah, so it'll just be done internally by officers we currently have.
Yep, that is correct.
Yep, okay, thanks.
Any other questions, councillors? There's a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
I'd like to move the council endorse the creation of a tourism reference group under the guidelines in the terms of reference.
Okay, Councillor Tricia.
I'll second that.
Secondly, yeah. Councillor Clark, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just to say, I think this would be a really good opportunity to really strengthen that business and economic development that we've put a lot of work into with the DMAFs in the last couple of years, and yeah, I'm excited to see what the group can bring and how we can move it forward, especially with bushfire recovery stuff and how we're going to continue to build the tourism economy for Mansfield Shire. So I'm excited.
Councillor Treasurer, do you want to speak to the motion?
Yes, please, Mr. Mayor, just to say that it's good to see a broad spectrum of people being on this committee. So there's, you know, a sort of a wide range of representation, which I think is a good thing.
Any councillor want to speak against the motion? Or any other councillor want to speak for the motion? In case I put the motion to a vote, all those in favour of the motion? Motion is carried. Yeah. Item 13.2.2, Project Cody carry forward. Responsible officer again is Ms. Crane. Councillors, questions on this item, agenda item? No? That case, councillor Brenny,
I'll move a motion that council approves an additional carry forward fund from 2024-25 to the 2025-26 budget for the Cody project in the amount of $659,493.
thank you. Have I got a seconder? Councillor Treasurer. Councillor Brenny, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Treasurer, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Does any councillor want to speak against the motion? Any councillor who wish to speak for the motion? Put the motion to a vote. Those in favour? Motion is carried. The next one is 13.2.3 T&E Regional MOU. And the responsible officer is Ms. Crane. Councillors, any questions?
Question, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Crane, can you give us just a brief overview of the benefits that Tourism Northeast membership MOU brings?
Certainly, through you, Mr. Mayor. T&E have a much, in the first, one of the big benefits we get is they have a much broader reach in terms of access to the market than council does on its own. They also provide us with a significantly high level of technical expertise when it comes to marketing and other things like that we are working with, as we've described in the report. I think the most one of the things that's highlighted is the work that T&E have been doing over the past years has resulted in the high country accounts exceeding the Great Ocean Road in terms of the amount of people viewing it, which I think is a huge achievement. And with our continued support and the work we do collaboratively with them, it will continue to do that. As we speak, T&E are working with our Senior Coordinator of Equity Dev and a couple of our local businesses doing some filming with Channel 9. So those types of opportunity wouldn't happen without this collaboration and this level of understanding between us and that organisation.
Great, thank you.
We have a recommendation on page 18. Councillor Clark.
I'd like to move that council endorse the memorandum of understanding with Tourism Northeast for the 3-year period commencing on the 1st of July 2026 and expiring on the 30th of June 2029.
Thank you. Got a second to the motion. Councillor Treasurer. Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Treasurer.
No, thank you.
Any other councillor want to speak against the motion or for the motion? Put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Item 13.3.1 and councillor Brenny has declared a conflict. And just for everyone, councillor Brenny has removed himself from the council chambers. 13.3.1 is the Mansfield and District Mad Potters lease, and the responsible officer is Ms. Archibald. Welcome tonight.
Thank you, Harry.
Archibald. Councillors, got any questions for Ms. Archibald? I have. I believe, is it true that the Potters to go into a further lease would give them a better opportunity to seek funding from other government areas?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Mayor. Yes, that's right. Due to the success of the group, they're really wanting to cement their tenure there and really be able to build on that with further certainty and be able to plan more strategic priorities and programs for the group. And yeah, to be able to go for more grant funding for their group.
Yeah, good. That's excellent. Any other questions, councillors? In that case, councillor Tehan.
Yeah, I can move the motion which is on page 21 of tonight's agenda.
Roger that.
Thank you.
Have I got a seconder, councillor Treasure? Councillor Tehan, do you want to speak to the motion?
Yeah, thanks. I reckon it's fantastic that we've now extended the lease for the Mad Potters group. They are a fantastic group and there's some great work over there. Their membership's increasing and hear a lot of talk around the town about people signing up there, going there, and yeah, it's turned a pretty derelict old block into a fantastic, vibrant art and clay studio. So well done to them. Well deserved.
Yeah. Councillor Treasure, you want to speak?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any other councillor would want to speak against the motion or for the motion? In that case, I'll put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? The motion is carried. And we can bring councillor Brenny back in, please. Yeah. Welcome back, councillor Brenny. The motion was passed. 13.3.2 is Mansfield Men's Shed request for support. Responsible officer is Ms. Archibald. Councillors, have you got any questions for Ms. Archibald on this agenda item? Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Archibald, why would we make a commitment before we go out to community consultation on this? Because it's community consultation was community engagement is a big part of the report. What would be the benefit of entering this kind of agreement before we've gone out to community engagement?
Thank you for your question through you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, so the Men's Shed have actually got a grant that they would like to apply for, and the timeline purely meant that it was on the 4th of June that they need to get this letter of support in, and it's from the Victorian government, and it's specifically for men's sheds and increasing their footprint for initiatives like this.
Okay. Follow-up question. Is that why there's a recommendation for a letter of intent to support the building permit on top of a letter of support? Is that a requirement of the grant that they have pre-indication of a building permit?
Two different parts to that through you,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor. Yes, so the letter of intent is for the grant, so that's to support their grant application with the Victorian government, and then the letter of intent is to support their building permit application. So that just fulfills the building permit requirements to be able to fulfil their planning and everything like that to work towards a building permit.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, councillors? I've got one. Yes. Archibald, so this recommendation that's before us, does that in any way tie this council in to legally giving them more land or not?
Thank you for your question. Subject to community engagement. So if anything comes out of that, then we would have to revisit the resolution and come back to council.
So it's fair to say that everything's just in principle here, a letter of support for them to apply. And then if they're successful, then it would come back to council and go out to community engagement, go through the whole process.
Yeah, again.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Understood.
Yeah.
Any other questions, councillors? In that case? You have a question?
John.
I was going to move the motion. unless
yes.
Councillor Teague has a
Yep.
question.
No. You go.
I'd like to move the motion as listed on page 26 of tonight's agenda under the recommendation.
Thank you. Have I got a seconder? Councillor Clark. Councillor Treasure, do you want to speak to the motion?
I think this is another, yes, please, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
this is another great community asset, and I think it's good that we can support them as well.
Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just to say it's great that big supporter of community groups being able to go for grants, and I think it's good that this will give them a bit of a green light to seek funding. But I'm looking forward to seeing what larger community engagement process brings on this, and you know, who else can be involved and where it goes in the future. So thanks for the work put into it.
Any councillor want to speak against the motion or for the motion?
Yeah, if I could.
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor,
Councillor
I
Taylor.
think it's fantastic. The men's shed have really been proactive in this. I know when we first purchased this block of land, they were very excited about being out with the possibility of being able to expand, because they really have. They've done such a fantastic job down there, and they really do support men in of all ages, but retirement age gives them something to do and a place to go, and it's they're a great organisation, and I hope I hope this gives them some success in their fundraising and grant applications.
I'll build on that one, if you don't mind, and say also that the men's shed love the quilters. And so it's not all about men, there's women in there as well, quilting.
Yes,
And we're soon in the first the last term of council, when the men's shed were given the go ahead, they've really created something very special there, and what they put into this community, I think is wonderful. So I'm happy to support this when it goes to the vote. So I'll ask councillors whether you're in favour of the motion. Motion's carried. Thanks. Thanks, Paul. The next agenda item is 13.3.3, which is the parking infringements refund scheme, and the responsible officer is Mr. Richards. Welcome tonight, Mr. Richards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillors, any questions for Mr. Richards? Councillor Team?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. 791 infringements over that period we've obviously found. Were there, and you may not know this, but just out of curiosity, were there multiple infringements by people, like was anyone have like 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 infringements, or that you're aware of?
Thank you for your question. Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's not something we've looked into. I imagine it will become fairly apparent once the list's looked at a bit more closely, but at this stage, it's not something that we've looked
Okay.
about.
Good, thank you. And just with the advice, obviously these infringements occurred. Fines and penalties quite a while ago, a lot of them. Why was it that we don't attach CPI to those original, what was the legal advice that said we didn't need to? Obviously the value of a fine back then is worth.
So through you, Mr. Mayor,
Now.
the best of my understanding was that the legal advice was that at that time they were overcharged that amount, and that amount should be refunded. The subject of CPI wasn't specifically addressed in the legal advice. The legal advice went to offence had occurred, so that the actual infringement is legitimate. It's just the numbers that were incorrect, and that so it was just that amount extra that needed to be addressed. So
Yeah.
that was the core of it.
A $20 fine back in 1985 or whatever is now $20 is what you get refunded.
That's correct.
No. Thank you.
Any other questions, councillors? Councillor Clark?
I'd like to move a motion.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor. The council, 1, establishes a refund scheme for parking infringements specified in items 1 to 11 in column 1 of schedule 6 of the Road Safety General Regulations 2019 for the period 1st of July 2006 to the 30th of June 2025, with refunds equivalent to 0.3 penalty units per infringement. Number 2, authorises council officers to engage with Vic Roads to obtain relevant data, confirm costs and seek opportunities to minimise expenditure. And 3, authorises the Chief Executive Officer to take the required steps to implement the refund scheme.
Thank you. I've got a seconder, Councillor Treasurer. Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Treasurer?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone want to speak against the motion? I want to speak to the motion. I've done some figures. Over 19 years, 791 infringements, which is 41.6 per year, which equals 0.8 infringements per week. There's some councils in Melbourne that pull in $18 million a year. And for us to find this and to go through this opportunity to say, we got it wrong, we are sorry, we got it wrong, and we're going through the motions of paying it back, is a really good positive step for Mansfield Shire to prove that we're just transparent and we're doing the right thing. And we're not making a lot of money by parking infringements like some of those in the city councils do. So I'm happy to support this. So I'll put it to the vote. Councillors in favour of the motion put forward. Thank you. Motion's carried. Item 13.3.4, which is Community Local Law 2026 to 2035. And Mr. Richards and Ms. Belvanova are both responsible officers here. And it's before us tonight, councillors. So any questions? Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Richards, we had a lot of community engagement over this local law document and over the process. Can you give me a summary of what I would consider the 2 hottest topics, being camping on private property and use of recreational vehicles, motorbikes and things like that on people's properties? Give me a bit of a summary of how that's might have shifted from people's original understanding.
Thank you for that. Through you, Mr. Mayor. The initial response was probably coloured a little bit by people not being aware that there were certain laws there in place anyway. Then there was a perception that people would not be able to camp on their own property or ride their motorbikes around their farmland property. That was the broad-based issue that caused most people angst. We clarified that, or we believe we clarified that. We put out a couple of social media posts as well, trying to address that, and tweaked the wording to basically reflect what is in the current local law that's in force at the moment. with the intent being that we would retain some control over camping on private property because we're in a potable water supply catchment and because we have so much bushfire risk in the Shire. We just wanted a little bit of oversight of that, but without being too heavy-handed. So we tried to strike the balance there. That seems to have been reasonably well received. The initial concerns around the camping stuff was in the initial engagement. In the later engagement, it didn't feature as highly. So we can only assume that people were reasonably happy with it. The same with motorbikes and vehicles on private land. There was concern that farmers rounding up their cows with their motorbikes would need a permit. That was obviously at the extreme end of things. Again, we tried to engage in such a way that was clarified that it was more about your boy racers going up and down the fence line for hours on end, driving the neighbours to distraction. So the laws didn't really need a lot of tweaking, but we did sort of change them around a little. And we've introduced wording to the effect of if you're causing offence or nuisance to the neighbours or organising an event. So a bit more nuanced. And again, the later engagement, we didn't receive negative feedback on that. So we think we've sort of landed about right. That's probably about as much as I can sort of flesh that one out for you.
Thank you. Just to follow up, if that's okay. So to clarify, I have a 5-acre property on the edge of town and I live there permanently with the residents. Are my friends able to come up on the weekends and camp on my property without a permit?
So generally speaking, if you live on the property, you'd have a house there. So generally what we're looking for, again, is that control over the potable water supply, the fire risk. And generally, if the people that come and stay are using the wastewater facilities of the house, then that's captured. So we're fine with that. So no, they wouldn't need a permit. If they want to go and camp down the back paddock for an extended period of time, then it might be a slightly different matter. But on a 5-hectare property, that's probably not the case.
Okay. And as another example, I'm out at a friend's property. It's 10 acres and my kids want to ride a motorbike around for the afternoon on a Saturday. What would be the permit requirements there?
Thank you for that. Through you, Mr. Mayor. Generally, that would be fine. If the kids do it for hours on end and annoy the neighbours, well, then we might need to look into what's going on here. Not suggesting that automatically they could just get a permit to go and annoy the neighbours. That's probably not something that we would entertain, but it just, again, we're trying to have some nuanced control, and it's the light touch is very difficult.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Questions? In that case, Councillor Teague?
Yeah, I'm happy to move this recommendation, which is on page 34 of tonight's agenda.
Thank you. And we're going to sing it up. Let's look treasure. Anyone speak to the motion?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. Richards and Ms. Belnova for all the work they've put into that. It actually reads really well. I know about 6 years ago, the local laws document was pretty clunky and cumbersome, and this is like you can actually sit down and read it and go, yeah, I get this. This is very understandable. I know where we're at, and I think once it's put on our website and people have those questions, it'll be very explanatory and straightforward. So, yeah, congratulations, well done on that.
Thank you.
Councillor Treasure? Any councillor wish to speak against the motion? Any councillor wish to speak for the motion? Put the motion to vote. All those in favour? Motion's carried. Thanks, Mr. Richards.
Thank you.
Item 13.4.1 is the Social Inclusion Action Group, SIAG, issues. Our responsible officer is Mr. Donahue. Thank you, and Ms. Schneider. Welcome both. Councillors, questions for either of you? Questions? Page 38. Councillor Clark?
I'd like to move a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
The council notes the new initiatives approved by the Social Inclusion Action Group SIAG for funding in accordance with the SIAG grant guidelines. The total funding allocation of $20,669.
Thank you. Have I got a seconder? Councillor Treasurer. Councillor Clark, you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Treasurer.
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Would any councillor like to speak against the motion? Any councillor like to speak for the motion? In that case, put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Aren't you glad you came in for that?
Which brings us to item 13.5.1. S11A, Instrument of Appointment and Authorisation in brackets Planning and Environment Act 1987, Responsible Officer Ms. Daly. Welcome again, Ms. Daly.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in. Councillors, have you got any questions for Ms. Daly? This is just a vanilla, procedural motion. Yeah, okay, well, a motion, if there's no questions, councillor
I'll move
Bernie.
the motion as per the recommendation on page 40 of this evening's agenda.
Thank you, and I've got a seconder. Councillor Clark. Councillor Brenny, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Clark,
No, thank you.
any councillor want to speak against the motion or for the motion? Motion to a vote, all those in favour? Motion's carried. Thanks, Ms. Bailey. Councillors, we're on to item 13.5.3, which is the quarterly finance report. The responsible officer is Mr. McCormick, and welcome tonight, Mr. McCormick. Councillors, have you any questions for the quarterly financial report? Councillor,
Very
Treasurer.
good, Mayor.
thank you.
Mr. McCormick, just looking at the comprehensive income statement. So the rates and charges, the year-to-date updated budget 17,555, but the year-to-date actuals 18,306. Now, I understand that we take all our rates up as an accrual at the start of the year. So is this just a timing issue? Because I see it comes out fairly close to the updated budget at the end of the year. Or are we looking forward to a no?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. With the phasing of the rates income, you're correct, it is banked in July. With one component of our rates income in the updated budget, we have phased the waste rate revenue on a monthly basis, where it should have all been banked in July. So that's essentially that number's understated for the updated budget year to date.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick.
Yeah, just in relation to our working capital, in the financial performance indicators attachment drops down. It's currently at 132, was 132%. This forecast for 132, but then in the June of 26, it dropped down to 77%. Is that a concern for us, Mr. McCormick?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, the working capital ratio, our targeted outcome would be above 1, probably pushing to a 1.5. So anything where we're starting to drop under the 1 is starting to be a little bit of it's becoming a liquidity concern that where our current assets are falling less than what our current liabilities are.
So in general terms, what can we do to improve that figure?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's a factor that we triggered last budgeting process. So this is a concerning element. There is factors what the council can look at where they can be longer term approaches with the sale of strategic assets is one component of this. And then it's just really looking at our expenditure schedule, because we don't have huge amount of room from our income side apart from the asset sales, but having really strong reflection onto the capital works program. If there's anything that goes from would be nice to have to be a necessity of what sits in that, because that has a huge impact on our working capital. So they're probably our biggest levers, and looking at where there's anything within the organisation where there might be a little bit of things that have been, like in our materials where they're forecasted, there is a view that that cost could reduce by the end of the year. We're just investigating that currently.
Right, yeah. The first in the comprehensive, the bridge and culverts variance. Have a question in relation to that. There was a variance in our spending in actual of about $1 million on our bridge and culverts. So that was capital works. Well, yes, there. Yeah, is that something that we need to be concerned about?
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, sorry, I've got it.
Oh, you've got it here?
I found it. Yeah. Year-to-date variance is the total for bridge and culverts in the appendix for Mansfield. It is 1,034,000. I think we've well and truly underspent on that. Is that just a routine or?
I can answer that one if you
I'm
like.
happy to.
Yeah.
Madam CEO?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. So there's the primary, in terms of the year-to-date variance, is the Greenvale Lane Bridge, which will be happening this financial year.
Right, yeah.
That's one of the major spends this year, and that is, as I understand it, programmed for June. All going well. Most of that, the preparation for that has already been done, so I think they're on track for that. There was also an allocation in that budget for bridges and culverts for the Graves Road to try and achieve a grant. So it was a co-contribution to a grant. So that hasn't been expended because we were unsuccessful, and we are trying again currently.
Okay.
Yeah. So we haven't given up on that one, and we'll basically, be reapplying again.
Okay, thanks for that. The roads to recovery, do we have an update on that? Obviously, it's entered as 0 at this stage. Do we have?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So from this schedule, it's only reflecting expenditure in the capital works schedule. So we've actually received the $1,041,000 for the roads to recovery. So we have accounted for that income in the comprehensive income statement and the summary. So in the capital works schedule, we've only got the expenditure components, not the actual funding that we've been receiving in it.
Righto. Okay, yeah. And just one last one, the employee cost expenditure was noted that we were over budget on employee cost by 114,000 due to emergency relief effort in the January bushfires. Can that money be obtained back from the reimbursement from the recovery grant?
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
we've already
Madam Chair.
submitted a number of, I think, several requests for refund through the DRFA. So I'm not sure, Mr. McCormack, you might know whether that's come in as of yet.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the money hasn't been received as yet.
Right.
But we would be expecting it in May, so it's
Soon.
has been communicated as quite imminent.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good to know that we can use it for that.
That's federal money, that one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Mm.
I've got a question. There's no mention of the ESVF tax in here. Is that next month? Is that in June?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just with the changeover of our financial system, we've been a little bit delayed in getting the reporting for the ESVF. However, we would expect to be making two further payments for the 25-26 financial year. And my estimate would would have another 1.88 mil further to be paying. We've currently collected 1.3, but with the fourth instalment still due on the 31st of May, I would expect an additional 400,000 to 500,000 from that due date for the total. So I would expect two payments of about 950,000 as an estimate that we still have to pay for this financial year.
Okay. And so that'll be on the 31st of May. When does the increase come in for the ESVF tax, do you know?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there's still no, we haven't been communicated that there is any increase for next financial year. So at this stage, it's seeming that it could be remaining as it was for the 25-26.
Okay.
But based on my estimation, though, from the increase from 24-25, it's essentially about a $1 million increase, which is about 35%.
Right, 35%.
What that we expect.
Approximately.
Approximately.
So it's up 1 million.
It'll be up about 1 million.
Total. Thank you, Mr. McCormick. Other councillors, any other questions? Any questions? What's the time?
No, I'm done.
No, you're done?
Yeah, no, that's all good. Thank you.
Yep, and there's a recommendation in front of us on page 49. Councillor Clark.
I'll move the council receive March 2026.
Thank you. Got a seconder? Treasurer. Councillor Clark, do you want to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Treasurer? No, thank you. Any councillor like to speak against the motion or for the motion? Put the motion to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Motion's carried. Thank you, Mr. McCormick. Item 14, council meeting resolution actions status register. Take that as read. So there's a recommendation on page 50, councillors. Councillor.
Can I just a question?
Question?
Yeah,
Yep.
in regards to the item in confidential meeting agenda, the 18.2 rate arrears section. And who am I talking to? I'm asking this all. Don't know.
Well, the responsible officers, Ms. Daly, I would say.
It is a confidential item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay to ask that question now? Okay.
We would need to close the meeting to be able to answer the question about a confidential resolution. It remains confidential.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll open it
Alright.
in the confidential meeting.
Okay, that'll be good.
You could close the meeting now and then we re-come to this item.
Oh. No, Oh, well, hang on, this is the last agenda item, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah,
Yeah.
but we gotta do the motion in this. Councillor Clark.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, I think what Chelsea's saying is, or Ms Daly is saying is that we close the meeting now, have that discussion, and then when we open the meeting, we will then come back to this item to move a motion regarding the receipt and noting of that report.
Is that what you're saying,
That makes more sense.
Government Officer?
Yeah.
Okay, we shall do that then. Recommendation to councillors. So I'll just go on to,
We could close the meeting, discuss it, reopen it.
Yeah.
And then address this item and then re-close it. But to say doing multiple
Yeah.
closes.
we'll just
Oh.
do what councillor Clark.
No.
Sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to suggest if it's just a question, we could just deal with it in the confidential meeting to avoid. There's a lot of, because we'll have to get Delete to move us all out to a room. and come
Yeah,
back.
yeah, that
Yeah.
would, I'm happy to do that. but
Yeah.
it sounds a lot
If
easier.
it doesn't
Yeah.
affect your decision making, then I think it's.
No,
Yeah.
it's just a question, yeah.
It doesn't so it doesn't affect your decision making on the motion.
No,
Okay.
not at this stage. No.
Okay.
Probably won't.
Okay, so I'll put.
I can move a
Gonna move
motion
the
then.
motion.
Yep, I'll move a motion,
Councillor
Mr. Mayor.
Clark.
I'll move that council receive and note the Mansfield Shire Council meeting resolution action status register as at the 12th of May 2026.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Treasurer. I'll just put that motion. Does anyone want to speak to it, against it? No, the motion advised. All those in favour? Motion's carried. Item 15 and 16 are nil, and then item 17, closure of the meeting. Councillor Treasurer.
That council close the meeting to the members of the public under section 66(2)(a) of the Local Government Act 2020 to consider confidential reports in accordance with section 66(2) of the Local Government Act 2020, or even set out in section 18 below.
Thank you. Have a good seconder. Councillor Clark. All those in favour? Thank you. Motion carried. To close the meeting, we'll be back shortly after we discuss the confidential items. Thanks everyone for waiting, if you did. If not, reopen the meeting. While we're away discussing our confidential meeting, we awarded a sum of money to the building club, amount of $190,268.33 ex GST, with a 10% construction contingency. We authorised the Chief Executive Officer to execute the contract, and that is for the toilet refurbishment to the station precinct platform. So happy to say that that was passed unanimously while you're away. If you're interested in what we were discussing, it's in the agenda here, 18.2, 18.3, 18.5, 4 and 5. So thanks very much. I think it was a very constructive council meeting tonight. It did take some time, but that's good because we got through it. Thank you, councillors, for your time tonight. Thank you, Madam CEO. Thank you, council officers and everyone that came in, people from Friends of Venalali. And with that, I'd say stay safe and good night. Thank you.
Boom.
Hey.